We are not surprised, but it is shocking for a president who says he is walking the talk of corruption in this country to reappoint a fella whom we have evidence on social medias, on SWAPO platforms, discussing the affairs of ACC. It is not right. The man himself said he doesn't need this job. So why they need to reappoint him? PDM will be very strong tomorrow on the floor of this House. We are going to reject that appointment. We will not allow the Fishrot shenanigans to continue. Mr. Noah has served his term. He had a number of recusals. He recused himself on the August 26 case, the oil storage case, the 36 million lawyers' fees. So we don't think that appointment is in the interest of our society, and we are going to reject that appointment.
But what would it take now, given that Parliament would need to vote on that specific motion?
Well, the issues of procedures will be discussed tomorrow, because we have already tailored that the spirit of the law says that the legislature must be given due notice. That's not due notice, because it's a substantial appointment. Yeah. And if you want us to appoint, we want Noah to appear before a select committee of Parliament so that he can come and explain to us why he has not done a number of work that we expected him to do. He has served his time. We need to move on and give new people chances.
Right.
Yes.
First and foremost, I'm going to give my motivation tomorrow. I would explain in my motivation why Mr. Noah has been nominated for consideration by Parliament, and I would also indicate what the accountability procedures are, because any office bearer is subject to systems of accounting to the designated authorities, and there are also provisions for acting against non-performance or conduct that is contrary to established procedures. So there are benchmarks by which performance is to be measured. There are provisions by which action is to be taken where there is no compliance with provisions of the law.
But what do you make of the perception that this is a SWAPO decision to protect perhaps prominent people from being prosecuted and from being dealt with effectively by the ACC?
SWAPO plays no role in this. This is a presidential nomination. A president is elected through universal suffrage. This is not only a SWAPO president. He performs his functions as SWAPO president in SWAPO. When he deals with state affairs, he deals with them as a state president in terms of the laws of the state.
One more thing. Was Mr. Noah's conduct and perception that he has been an active member of the ruling party and has been participating on various WhatsApp groups for campaign purposes and all these other things, was also that considered when...
Well, I don't know what the political affiliation of Mr. Noah is. I don't have to know the political affiliation of any functionary of a state institution. We consider party political affiliation when we deal with party issues. So, and I don't know how Mr. Noah conducts himself in his private life. I am not empowered under any law to monitor his private activities, nor am I obliged to report on them, because I wouldn't know how he conducts himself. But all that I can say is that I'm not aware of anything that disqualifies him, and if there is, I would welcome evidence to that effect.
Okay, being a prime minister, how do you assess the ACC's performance, perhaps, or let's say effectiveness over the 15 years or 16 years period that it has been in existence?
The ACC reports to Parliament, not to the Prime Minister, and the ACC submits annual reports to Parliament, and those reports indicate their performance, and when the reports are tabled in Parliament, they are made available to members of the public, so they are available for any citizen to refer to in order to make their own conclusion.
Right.
I don't intend to debate or to bring a parliamentary debate here to the media.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, when you reappoint someone, you must have a thorough assessment of what this person has done, succeeded in thus far, and thus warranting the reappointment of that person. The question is this: has corruption been combated in this country? I say no. Are corruption cases being handled, finalized in due time? I say no. So now you have two things that have occurred here. You have a a prosecutor general who was charged with prosecuting all cases, including these corruption cases.
Yeah.
She's reappointed for the next 5 years. You have the ACC Director General with all the legs. This person is being reappointed. The other question is this: combating not domestic violence but corruption is not only about seeing cases in court and having people prosecuted.
Yeah.
It has to do with the perception of the broader Namibian society. If you go to an ordinary Namibian there, you ask yourselves, is Namibia corrupt? Will the question be negative or in affirmative? I believe the answer would be Namibia is corrupt because the connected are not facing the music when it comes to corruption. And the government will always highlight this issue of we have two former ministers sitting in jail. It's not as a result of this government that those people are sitting there. It's as a result of an Icelandic whistleblower who said things that we have been saying in this government, to this government for many years, and that the government has done nothing about and has kept denying. If it weren't for those video footages, these people would still be ministers here telling us that they are not corrupt and SWAPO is not corrupt. So, all these things are happening and happened under the radar of Mr. Noah. The Fishrot case specifically happened under the radar of Mr. Noah. Namibians did not hear about Fishrot from Noah. We heard it from someone abroad. How do you reappoint him? It's nothing against his persona that I'm saying here. It has to do with a system that we must put in place. We must have a system in place that is foolproof. And unfortunately, Mr. Noah in that capacity has not proven to run an anti-corruption system that is foolproof. And therefore, I do not believe it is correct and quite right to reappoint him.
Yeah.